Hello, my name is Dale Dealtrey. Welcome to this time of daily reflection here at Olivet Church. The last time we were together, I shared a short piece of E.B. White's writing. And today I have a longer piece of his to read. It's a poem that I first encountered years ago when, on a winter weary day in February or March, I turned eagerly to this poem called Spring Planning, and how the winds were knocked out of my sails when I read, "Let the sun go on if it will, promising much. Let earth respond, lift up foolishly, try the powers of her recovered sweetness and give of her swamp smells. Let the new sun go on, promising much. I'll not go along this time. I think I've had enough of hopefulness, green things and promises, new things and promises, rather than go through that once more, knowing spring comes to no good end, rather than rehearse the whole long show again like a child, knowing the story well, knowing the ending, my mind running on ahead. I'll try another plan. I'll wear September like a charm all spring. The dry grass, the dead wind, love pitched in the wrong key. I'll turn my face away in time, my heart averted safe. Then let earth try me. Let earth tempt me with a face that is beautiful. I think I've seen that face before. Where is the love, I said, that's worth love's ending? Where the brightness worth the resultant gray? The fierce glad season worth the death of it? I say I have a better plan. Let the sun go on, promising much, posting its love letters on the east wind. I'll tear them up. I do not think I am afraid to tear them up. Have you ever felt that way? That while spring is in full bloom all around you, you're wearing September? Though this spring I am glad and most grateful for the sun's love letters, as E.B. White puts it, reading the tulips and robins as one eager for new life. Nonetheless, I appreciate his perspective. And while there is a sense of stability and security in the cycle of seasons, nonetheless, the new life we are watching bloom now is the same as last year's. And as last year's, it too will die. And some days we may feel like saying, I won't let it lift me on its wings only to let me down again. It doesn't make any real lasting difference. There are days in the midst of this pandemic when the return of spring just doesn't cut it. There are moments when our fears, our discouragement, our quarantine fatigue, as someone so wisely put it, which takes all sorts of shapes and forms, that quarantine fatigue. There are days when it outweighs any uplift or hope that even a purple iris in full bloom, or the song of a wood thrush, or the smell of freshly mown grass might offer. We celebrate Easter during springtime because spring is the season of Earth's renewal, at least in the northern hemisphere it is. But Easter is also decidedly distinct from nature's offer of new life. Easter is not just about the raising of Lazarus from the dead only to die again. It's not just a second chance to make good on our New Year's resolutions only to find ourselves repeating the same old patterns. Easter is not just a mood swing for the better. Easter is about the decided victory of life over all forces of death. Easter assures us that we are not deceived to trust life. It assures us we are not deceived to believe in the good, to hope in our God, and to expect that as we walk with God, we may grow into new ways of thinking and behaving that make a real difference. however painful the path there may be. There are days when we do not feel Easter joy, and that's okay. There are days, times when we cannot read God's love letters to us on the east wind, and that's okay too. Because Easter is God's assurance that life and love, they are the final bedrock of reality. And even when in our quarantine fatigue, we cannot hold on to God and we're not so sure about God's promises, nonetheless, our God continues to hold on to us and will never let go. And so we can allow ourselves to enjoy the signs of spring. We can do that trusting that this whole process of life and death and life again is held in the hands of our Maker God, whose love letter to us is the risen Christ. Thank you, my friends, for joining me in this time. And as always, if you need anything or would just like to talk, please be in touch with us here at Olivet Church.